In this training, we're going to dive into the Kanban view inside of SmartSuite. So if that's of interest, stick around and let's get into it. Let's go ahead and hop on into my screen and start talking about the Kanban view. Now the thing about views, of course, we know that we have to be inside of an application inside of SmartSuite because views live inside an app. So for our example, I've chosen my marketing campaign solution and I'm in my campaigns app. Now in order to access my views, again, I go to the upper left corner where I have my view menu and I have a list of my existing views. Now here I already have a Kanban view created. I can determine that by this purple little insignia or symbol here to the side. Or I can create a brand new Kanban view from scratch. But let's actually jump into my pre-existing Kanban view and walk through the different elements of the Kanban. So inside of a Kanban, what you'll notice is that we have stacks of data based on a particular field here. So we are actually stacking our data in this example, and we know this by clicking here to look at our columns. We're stacking into columns, and in our case, we are using the status field. So if you recall, we have a status field that ranges from a planned campaign to an in development campaign to a live campaign to complete, and we can move over and say paused. So these are the different status that a different campaign will have as it moves through our process in our example. So Kanban views are excellent if used with a status field or a different single select field type. That is, you have multiple different options or multiple different status through which you move a process. And instead, what we're doing here is just visualizing that data as it moves through the process. So the thing I want to bring to your attention is that inside the Kanban view, we have full accessibility to this data. I can drill into the records just as I can on any of our other views. And I can also click and drag these elements and update the status of them. So here I am moving this Rebel Packs example from the in development status, bringing it over here and dropping it into the live status. And so that is also impacting the underlying data to now say that the status of this particular campaign has been updated. So this is a great way for you to track information as it moves through a process. Now I want to bring to your attention that we can change what we're looking at, the column headers if you will, by moving to the column here. And this is where we can choose the grouping, and we can go ahead and pick a different status or single select field if we'd like. So if we want to see these based on their category instead, so here we have outbound or inbound campaigns, well now they're stacked by that particular status. So we have that flexibility. Now we can also optionally use swim lane grouping. And this is where our cards will be grouped into columns based on the field we choose. So we can say, let's look at our campaigns by status again, but let's use a swim lane grouping and look at who they're assigned to. And so now I have this little capability right here where I can break down all of the different projects or campaigns, view them as they're stacked in their columns, but also look at the various people on the team who have access here and see who has data. Now in our example, Nate has all the data assigned to him, so if we want to move it down, we have to click it and drag it on down, and we can then reassign it to someone else on the team. I can drop it into my own portfolio, for example, and now we have a swim lane for the various people on the team, and we can see the campaigns assigned to them horizontally, and then look at the campaign status vertically. So a lot of flexibility in the Kanban view inside of SmartSuite. Definitely play around with it if you haven't already, and go back and rewatch this if we went too fast on any particular section. That's it for this one. I look forward to seeing you in the next training. If you have any questions about what we covered in this training, please ask them below in the comments section of this video. And until then, we'll see you in the next training.